Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Rumsey. I'm going to talk in this video specifically to people who are considering coming to college or going to college. And so not everybody thinks about it. Not everybody wants to. In some cases, it might not even be practical for you to. But for those who are, there's a few things that you want to actually spend some time thinking about and researching before you do. So if you're a high school graduate and you're wondering what's next for you, college might actually be a really good thing if you're going to pursue something that leads to maybe a practical career. If you're going to go into something a little less career focused, but it's of interest to you, just understand that that degree that you're paying for might not pay for itself. That'll be a personal decision on what you're going to do with that. Your parents might have an opinion about what you do. You might tell your parents what you think about their opinion. That's all fine and dandy. So if you're a fresh high school graduate, college might be in your near future. And I'm just going to say the truth is, if you can get college done while you're young, it's going to be better for you. Those of you who wait, I was somebody who didn't even start college till I was in my very late 20s in reality, and then it took me a long time to finish college because I got sidetracked with my careers. The earlier you get it done, the more it will probably, if it's going to be beneficial to you, the more it will probably be beneficial to you. But the truth is, you won't have to think about it in the future. Those of you who didn't go to college right out of high school and you're now looking into it, you're really going to want to listen to me because what I'm going to say is going to resonate with you in how you're going to make your decisions. All right. So one thing you want to look at is what type of college do you want to go to? And what's going to benefit you? So do you want to go to community college? Do you want to go to a university? Some will call them a four-year college. A lot of universities nowadays will take you all the way up to a doctorate level if that's what you want to do. But what's really going to be beneficial to you? And so I will say to the younger students, the fresh high school grads, many of you will pick something that you're interested in that won't really lead you to a career. That's fine. Financially, it might not be worth it to you, but still, we get it that while you're young, you want to pursue your dreams and your vision. Some of you who are older, you might be coming back to or coming to college very specifically for a specific type of degree that's going to actually benefit you in your working place or your career field so that you can get to those positions and salaries that you strive to that might have a degree requirement, or that having the degree makes you more competitive for those positions in your field. So think about the type of school that you want to go to. Typically, a community college is way more affordable than the universities. I will say in the California Community College, it's really affordable. The typical per unit cost is right around the $50 range per unit. So it doesn't mean you're not going to spend hundreds or even a couple of $1,000s in a semester, but as opposed to being in the hundreds of dollars per unit, right? It's under $100 per unit at the moment, at least in the California Community College system. So that might be affordable to you. When you go off to a university, it depends on the university itself, if it's part of a state system, if it's a private university, what type of reputation that it has, because all of those things factor into how much it's going to cost you to be able to go there, right? So if the cost of the degree is important to you, then you actually do want to know how much tuition costs and how much, on average, books are going to cost you. I'm going to tell you that when you apply for financial aid, they're going to want to factor in other things like your bills and your food and your housing and all that stuff. If they offer you student loans, if you apply and you don't get grants or you don't get scholarships, but they're willing to give you student loans, be careful. You don't necessarily want to take out all of the money they're going to offer you, because you're going to end up, if you do, you're going to end up spending years and years and years paying that thing off. And I'm going to say it's not uncommon for lots of you all who did go to college, who are watching this video now, it's not uncommon for many people to have 10 years or more of paying on those student loans. So you want to keep the amount of money that you're using down to as low as possible, so that as you get older and you're in your career, you're not spending years and years and years and years and years and years and years paying on that student loan. Keep it down as low as possible so that you can get it paid off and move on with your life. But again, that a lot of that's going to be dependent upon the type of university that it is, and your program. So, and you're also, it also compounds when you seek higher level degrees. So if you're getting an associate's degree, which is really common in a community college, that's going to have an amount of money that it's going to cost. When you get a bachelor's degree, if you want to pursue a bachelor's degree, that's obviously going to cost more. And that will certainly cost more than most community colleges, because most community colleges don't have bachelor's degrees, or they don't have many bachelor's degrees within them. So their cost is higher. It's the university level cost. And so while you're doing your research on your program and the costs, you want to have a firm grasp that it's probable you're going to end up having to pay out of pocket, and it's probable that you're going to end up having to use student loans. That's going to be when you fill out the FAFSA, you're going to end up getting student loans as opposed to grants, and as opposed to getting scholarships, which is free money that you don't have to pay off. Loans you got to pay back. So make sure that that degree is worth it to you. Same thing, right? Associate's degree, less expensive. Bachelor's degree, more. A master's degree is going to cost you even more. And then a doctorate degree is going to cost you even more. And there's time involved, because the associate's degree, theoretically, you should be done with it in 2 years. A bachelor's degree, theoretically, you should be done with it in a total of 4 years. That includes if you do 2 years at a community college, and then 2 years at the university for your bachelor's. Theoretically, you should get it done in 4 years. That's not really the case for many. And each time you extend it out, it kind of adds to student loans. It adds to it's not helping you get your next promotions or whatever you're seeking within your field when it takes a long time to get the degree. Master's degrees are often another 2 years on top of that, and then a doctorate degree is usually not 2 years. Usually it's more than 2 years, because you have a couple of years of coursework, and then you've got your dissertation that you've got all the research and writing that you have to do. And for some people, that actually can take them 3 to 5 or more years to get through that as well. And so the question that you're going to ask yourself is, why do I need a doctorate degree? Right? If you do. In some professions, the doctorate degree is going to make a difference to you in money. So for example, if you become an educator, your doctorate degree is going to give you a little bit more in the annual salary, but it's also going to make you competitive for types of positions, such as becoming a full-time instructor or becoming an administrator. That will make a difference in your salary by having that type of a degree. And so it's just really important to do research in your field to know what degree, if any, is actually needed. Does that make sense to you? So, because we want to make sure that you don't spend decades or even really a decade paying on student loans, because if you think about that, that's like, 10 years is more than a car payment. It's like 2 car payments. And and it's not going to be cheap. The student loans are typically going to be a couple hundred or more per month that you're paying. So it's a factor that for those of you who are young, you really want to consider. And I know while you're young, you're not really in this headspace, but you really don't want to have bills that are going to follow you for years and years and years if you can avoid it. Those of you who are older, you know what I'm talking about already. Like, we just want to get our bills paid off and move on in life, right? So keep that in mind. Tuition is certainly one thing. In some states, they have lots of tuition waiver type things. The community colleges are looking more and more and more to become free for fresh high school graduates and then other types of students that get benefits. So you never know, but if you don't do research, then you just won't know. So look into those types of things. Another is the cost of your books. So the colleges are famous for having you buy your own textbooks, and textbooks do not necessarily come cheap, right? A textbook can be anywhere from, I don't know, $25 to almost $200, maybe even more depending on your textbook. We would see high prices in history. We'll see high prices in your sciences. We'll see high prices in your math books. So there's several subjects that you're looking at spending a fair amount of money on books. And so again, that's if you use student loans for those, that's just extending, it's making your amount deeper. The amount of debt that you're going into is deeper, and the amount of years that you're going to be paying that thing off is extending into your future. Now, these days in the 21st century, we're looking at some colleges and instructors are promoting free resources, so not actually buying a specific textbook, but maybe using resources that are available through the library system or other types of resources that you might find online. So for those instructors that do that, that's good. For the student, because that saves you money. But a lot of times, too, that material is inconsistent in what you're going to learn from it. So if the classes that you're going to take that don't use textbooks, you want to make sure that the classes, if they're related to your field, right, your industry, you want to make sure that that you're going to learn from those classes what your field or your industry needs you to learn. That they know for sure you would get out of a textbook, but if your teacher is using online resources that are free, you want to make sure that it's good quality, because the reason you're going to college is for a quality education, which you can get at most institutions. And so it's not all about the reputation itself of the institution, but sometimes that matters. We'll talk about that some other time. But the degree itself, you're not just going there to get the piece of paper, but you're going there to learn stuff that will also help you in your career choice, in your life path, whatever that may be. So keep those things in mind. And if you have things that you would want me to address related to being a college student, put those in the comments below. I will take a look at that stuff and be addressing things as we go through time. I have another video that talks about what classes you should take in your first semester. It's called English and Math. And because you want to set yourself up for your success in your college, in your pursuit of your education. So but in any case, if you have comments or things that you want to know more about, put them in the comments below. If you want to follow this and more, hit the subscribe button. If you know people who are going to college, share it with them and tell them to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will be with you again. For now, class dismissed.